Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we'll be talking about booster box price for Pokémon TCG, and I'm trying to keep this short and sweet because when I was doing the research, I really spent quite a bit of time trying to understand. I did economics in university and in high school, but these things can get boring and quite technical. I understand that, so I will just try to get to the point as soon as I can and go to the important parts. But I think it's important because I've heard too many people, especially some influencers and experts in, or people who are very experienced in dealing with Pokemon investing. I've heard way too many times that they say that there's no way to predict or to know in a reasonably sure way whether booster box price will go up or down, and in the long run everything's go up. Yes, we understand that, and I think in my earlier video I have also established that yes, based on historical data, all of the sets does go up, but there are ways to understand which one will do better, or at least give us a sense. And sometimes when the prices, like currently, when they just go up, everything goes up, and so it's very easy for us to get caught up by thinking that all this will do well, but that is simply not true. Because if you look at the history, the trend of all the boxes prices, you can definitely see that there are sets that does a lot better than the rest. And so what are the things that is affecting the price, right? Especially in now we are talking about prices in 4 to 5 years time. It's not when at release. I think it is quite straightforward. All right, let's get into this. So when we talk about supply and demand and or pricing, I think that's we cannot run away from supply and demand, law of supply and law of demand, and how it affects the price. But the interesting thing about Pokemon is that because the very standard law of supply says that when price rise or price fall, it actually affects how much supply or quantity that's produced by the producer, or in this case the Pokemon company, right? But it doesn't really apply here directly because I think most of us understand that within the printing window, usually about 2 years time, once they stop printing, they stop printing. So whatever amount and quantity that Pokemon company decides to produce specifically for booster box, and that's it. And they won't print anymore in the future. They may come back in a different form, but this particular set, when they're done printing, after about 2 years usually, that's it. Okay, so the supply, it's quite finite in the sense the total amount that's being supplied, and we can see that usually there's a direct relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about this again. A law of demand, this one is the interesting one because we, in the normal world where anyone is free to produce a product, if it is not tied to a particular copyright, when the price goes up, the demand usually goes down, and when the price goes down, the demand goes up. I think this one is quite straightforward. And but price is not the only thing that is affecting demand, as we will explore in a while. Alright, the equilibrium price. This is the interesting one. It is the equilibrium in the market occurs where the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. And if you remember, we said earlier, because the quantity supplied is fixed, and later on you will also see that here you see that I actually try to come up with a sample of the demand function. It can be represented in a function or a formula like that, where you can see Q, it usually means in in the terms of demand function. It means the quantity demanded, right? And then you have all kinds of coefficients here, A, B, C, and E. And these are P, D, and T. It really depends on what we're talking about. Since we're talking about booster box, I think the P is definitely the price. This will definitely affect, the demand of the booster box. And D is, this is the other very important one, desirability of the cards inside the box. So if we have a box set where the Pokemon is just not popular, it doesn't look good, it doesn't have a good team, then the desirability of the box itself and indirectly the cards, it will not be so high, and it will definitely affect the demand, right? And again, this one T represent the number of years passed from release. I added in here because, as I said earlier, after about 2 years time, when they stop printing the boxes, the cards and the booster boxes numbers are fixed, and the number in terms of supply will only go down because people will still rip open the packs, rip open the boxes, and even though they may slow down, but over the years, definitely you will see a reduce in supply. So this is actually to take into consideration the reduce in supply, and again how it will affect the demand. So if you look at the equation A, I missed out about this. A is also a very important thing. It is the baseline demand. So that means that no matter whether it's a good set or a bad set, or when it's just released or it's been for 5-10 years, there's always a baseline demand, because there are people who will buy them no matter what. Shops that will be buying them, they will be ripping up and selling them in single packs and things like that. But this is actually quite affected by the market condition. For example, now the market is good, everybody has money in their pocket, the stock market is doing well, the crypto people are doing very well, so this may be higher than normal. So this baseline demand, it is there, but the number, it really depends a little bit on the market condition. So this is I just want to clarify, this is just an example. I just put up some numbers here so that we can have an idea how it may look like. B is the price elasticity of demand. So how does it affect, how does the price affect the demand? So if it is a very good set, even when the price is very high, the demand may still be very high, right? If it's not a very good set, then this number will reflect that as well. It may change depending on the set. And the impact of card desirability. So again, this one is again, I believe it's a very big, from at least from the research that I've seen, based on historical data, very important. So for example, the reason why in the same era Evolving Sky does so much better than the other sets is just because of the cards that's inside. The number of cards are the same, the pack arts, I don't think it makes a difference. The price at release is the same, so the only thing that is really making such a big difference is the cards inside. So I think that there's no argument here. And yeah, the impact of years past, boxes open, it's accounted for as well. So if we rearrange this, because like I said, this usually it represents the quantity demanded, but in this case, the quantity demanded is usually when we balance it on the both side, like we say, equilibrium price means quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. But because quantity supplied is fixed after 2 years, so we can just assume that this is a fixed number in the future after 2 years when they stop printing. So if we rearrange that, we can see that we can put this into a nice little equation like that, for us to solve for P, the price of the booster box, and T is like how many years has passed, and D is how desirable the cards are. So yeah, so I think the very interesting thing that when I started out looking at this is that I really want to find out to help myself understand what are the other things that may affect a booster box price. So if you just, I don't know, the first thing I tried was just go ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT. I think the ChatGPT will give me some answer like a rarity of card, you know, the popularity of the Pokemon and all those things. But all these things is quite subjective, right? And it's very difficult to do it if we want to go card by card. You know, how popular is this card, and art is so subjective. Just like Greninja, when they just came up, Twilight Masquerades, nobody thought they would do so well. But I think the very direct message from the market, how desirable a set is just directly looking at the card values in the set, especially the top few cards. So for example, the Umbreon in the Evolving Skies and all the evolution in the set is what is driving up the box price. And the Gengar in the Fusion Strike and the more recent Surging Spark. So this is thing that and the beautiful thing is that this actually will take also into account, it doesn't really matter whether the price is high because the art is good or the Pokemon is popular or just a very thematically special set, because it will all be reflected in the price. So I don't need to know the exact reason why it is doing so well. So if I just look at the price, it will tell me that it is popular, you know, people want the set. So it's very straightforward. So I think the summary of this study is that booster box price is finite and diminishing. It's very interesting because if you just compare this to the stock market or even very basic, when people use the law of supply and law of demand, usually they used to study, you know, what is the demand of a mobile phone or something like that. But booster box is different because it is finite. You can't just continue to supply them over 10-20 years, and it is diminishing. The supply actually reduces. Baseline demand is quite stable in similar market condition, unless there's a crash or a super bull market like at the moment. I think this will definitely affect the price, but not to such a big extent, I would say. I think this is the very interesting part, desirability of card in the set, because this is something we can track. And if this is true, and this truly play a big part in deciding or guiding the price of the booster box in the future, 5 years and above years old, then I think this is something that we should pay attention to. Okay, here I wanted to show you what I was working on. I think in the earlier video, you have seen that I actually ranked some of the sets based on their booster box price in the 3rd and the 4th year and how much they actually gain per year. And if you still remember, 17.8 seems like the very special number where people will, nice, New Year, where I'm here now, 1st January, Happy New Year. So back to the topic, 17.8%. So anything above, I would say, is doing quite well. The reason why I dropped Sword and Shield base is because even though on the 3rd year they're doing quite well, but the 4th year you see there is actually quite a big drop. Same for this guy here, Rebel Clash. The 1st year was pretty alright, 15%, and then 4th year dropped. But you can see that the boxes, they are doing very well. They are making almost 30% and above per year, right? And so the very interesting thing is this. Now, when I try to track the total value of top 6 cards in the set, so how do I do that? So let me just show you. I hope it's working now. I think yesterday it wasn't working so well. Alright, so let me just look at this. Let's just look at Surging Spark. Surging Spark, if you just add up the top 6 cards value, I think you will get about $1,200 at the moment. So what I did was I calculated the top 6 card value in 1 month after release. I don't do it right after release because usually the price is very crazy, but after a month, most of the time it will start dropping a little to reflect the actual market desirability and what the market is willing to pay in 6 months after release, 12 months and 24 months. That's usually when the box stop being printed from Pokemon company, right? And I just want to show you 2 things. I'm not going to go into too much details because I know I don't want to make this too long, but I want to show you the really bad ones first. So these are some of the example of the sets that are not doing so well. D and E tier. So if you can remember, these are the boxes that make about 15% and below per year in average. Some of them even lost money on the 3rd year and only started being more going into the profit territory in the 4th year. So if you look at this is 1 month after release, this data, and 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. You can see that almost all of them, this is quite a special case. This is Vivid Voltage because of the Pikachu, the Chonkachu. So at release, it was very, very hot, that set. So the top 6 card value was quite high, close to 600, but by the end of 2 years, you see it dropped all the way down to 150. So there are 2 things where I was observing. First one was the endpoint after 2 years. All these sets, they are not doing so well. Their top 6 card value are usually around this region, $200 and below. Okay, that's number 1. Second observation was that it usually is dropping quite drastically. So this Vivid Voltage is a very extreme example, and Battle Style as well. It started at 400 and now it's at about 200 and halved. What is this? Darkness Ablaze started off at close to 200, now it's 71. So that's the first observation. The set value, at least on the top chasers, top 6 cards in the set, is very affordable. That's number 1. Second thing is usually you see a downward slope like that. But if you compare it to the better sets, they are doing well. Sets that are making 30, 40, 50, 60% gain per year, it is very different. First of all, you can see that at the end of 2 years, the set still retains the value in the top chasers, okay, and usually this top 6 card value, it may go down a little, up a little over a 2 years period, but you can see that it's quite stable. This shows that people are willing to pay for the cards, so they want to open a set. So, and that is in my mind, I thought, oh, this actually tells me that people want the set as compared to this, right? This directly shows how desirable the set is. You know, if nobody is even willing to pay for the singles, then why would anyone want to open up the set, right? As compared to a set like this. And of course, there are also sets that goes up even from 6 months, within a year. By the end of 2 years, it's actually already going. So Evolving Sky, this is only the top 6 card. If you include the other evolutions in the card, it is going to be even higher. But what is also very interesting here is that if you look at Surging Spark, it started off at $1,000 in the first month, top 6 card, and now it's already, I think, close to 1,300 if I'm not wrong. This is only the second month, so I'm not sure where Surging Spark is going. It may go down a little, it might go flat a little bit, but if you I think I'm going to make another video just focusing on this Surging Spark. interesting topic, because I really believe if this is right, if I'm right about this, I hope I'm right at least. Just look at all these sets: Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, Cosmic Eclipse. What's the other one? I think it's Twilight Masquerade is here as well. Like Chilling Reign is, I think, overlapping with Lost Origin. These are the sets that are going to do very well, and they are already doing well. And these are the sets that's going to end up costing like close to $1,000 in 5 years' time. Because if you look at this booster prices, you know, the set that have top 6 values in this region, $600, $600, those are the sets that are the pricey ones. $1,200, but of course this is, how old is this? This I think is close to 10 years. Yeah, 9 years. But the other ones, this is Ultra Prism, $600, Celestial Storm, 800 plus. Yeah, just look at the top 6 value. Burning Storm, Burning Shadow it's not doing so well. Unbroken Bond, Unified Mind, Cosmic Eclipse. These are the sets that have quite good cards, as you can see. Top 6 value is like $700 to $900, and booster box price is $700 to $1,000. These are about 5 years old. So these are the sets that are in this area, in this tier A. So these boxes, they are actually not too far off. If within the next 3 years they continue to climb up to about $600 to $700 to $800 card value in the top 6 cards, then they will be reaching the similar value. And of course, Evolving Sky is a different animal altogether. But I'm very interested to see in the next 2 to 3 years time how will Surging Spark do. You know, what with the new sets that are coming out. A lot of people say that when the new sets come out, then everybody will forget about Surging Spark. Then it's going to crash. But who knows, right? We can't really predict the future. But what we can track is how the cards are doing. And I'm very interested to see whether this really has a very strong correlation to the future box price. And if it is true, if we can use this to really have a peep into the future, then I think it is something that is worth looking into. Yeah, so for example, if we can see that after 6 months, like Twilight Masquerade is already doing quite well, then it's definitely a set that's going to do well. And if it is something that's going down like that, going down the cliff, then yeah, probably not a good idea, right? Yeah, so that's all I have for today. Hope you have a good day and Happy New Year.